This group is potentially very dangerous, Sheun. Of course, the Boko Haram group is a group that became a transnational terror group, and it didn't do that until after it had operated for many years and had gathered experience and arms and money through kidnappings and other methods. This one is not up to the level of Boko Haram in terms of sophistication and lethality and their experience and their connection and even the number of fighters. But they are potentially very, very dangerous because, number one, they are already establishing strongholds in the northwest, especially in Tangaza and Gudu local governments of Sokoto State, but also some parts of Kebbi State. And right now, the information we are getting is that they are operating in 5 local governments. And I can tell you some of my interviewees are very informed, Sheun, and they tell me, one of them told me that there is a local government in Sokoto, Gudu local government. He says you cannot travel 5 kilometers outside the state, the local government capital without meeting Laukurawa, encountering Laukurawa on the way. And he says all the villages surrounding the local government headquarters are under the control of the group because as we speak, they are serving as judges for local people. If you have a local problem, you have a dispute with your neighbor, you report to them because they have forbidden traditional rulers from intervening in any dispute that is brought to them. And traditional rulers have no option but to obey them because they would kill them if they don't obey their instructions. And especially in farmer herder crisis, today if farmers have their farm encroached by herders, they report to the Laukurawa, and the Laukurawa summon the parties, adjudicate the dispute and order compensation against those that they find wanting. Members of the community whose cattle is stolen by bandits report to the Laukurawa, and the Laukurawa intervene on their behalf to fight the bandits, to collect their cattle back for them. And in exchange, today the Laukurawa are levying taxes in communities in Sokoto and Kebbi State, especially against herding communities. They stop you, they count your cattle, and they ask you if it belongs to a politician or a government official, they confiscate the whole of it. If it belongs to an individual, they charge taxes in percentages and then leave you to go. Now, they also, enforce other rules. For example, there are POS machine operators in some of the villages that recently were punished by this group because the group said they were charging interest, which is forbidden in Islamic law. And therefore, they broke into the POS shops. They looted everything in the shop and destroyed all the machines. Right. They are also punishing people who don't leave beard, and they are helping people who live beard with money and other incentives.
I'm being also joined by Professor Tukop Mohammed Baba, National Public Secretary of the Ottawa Consultative Forum. But before I come to you, Prof, Mr. Bulama, what is Laukurawa? What are they preaching? Is it different from the ideology of Boko Haram?
It's not different. It's not different from the ideology of Boko Haram, except that they are more like ISWAP. Because they tell local people, unlike Boko Haram, that we are not your enemies, we don't want to kill you, we are only fighting the government and its apparatus. And so that's what they espouse, an extreme, violent extremist ideology, and they try to preach to local communities. But the good news shown is that my research so far, and I say so far because I am still researching, reveals that they have not been accepted by the communities. I have not found one example of a local young people who has joined them. They are still mostly foreigners. I am not saying there may be no local people at all, but they are still mostly foreigners. But they are large in number from the information I am getting. They are establishing large camps and show not only that they have heavy weapons, they also have drones. And they are surveilling villages and even military formations with their drones. And I think we should take them very seriously. They are potentially going to be a very serious security threat in a region that is already devastated by bandits' violence.
All right, give me a moment. Over the last few days, we understand there were attacks in Kebbi State. in respect of the so-called new terror group, Bukowarri. Let me allow you to listen to what the defense headquarters once said about this group, Bukowarri.
Troops are confronted with a new terrorist sect in the Northwest. This sect is known as Bukowarri. The Bukowarris are affiliated to terrorists from the Sahel, particularly from Mali and Niger republics. They began incursion into northwestern part of Nigeria, namely Sokoto and Kebbi states. And like I mentioned, they came in from Niger and the Mali axis. Now, why are we seeing this at this time? This came as a result of the coup that took place.
It's really tragic.
All right, then, that was what the defense headquarters said a few days ago. But the new acting chief of Army Staff visited Sokoto State, and he was on the ground as soon as he got into the saddle, and this is what he observed as soon as he got on the ground.
There will always be challenges. Now, the issue is how do we react to those challenges? So one of the reasons why I'm here is to charge up my soldiers to brace up to the challenge, and that we shall do. My charge to the community people is for them to support us, because the fact is that Nigeria Army belongs to all Nigerians. And if we don't get their support, we can't succeed. And if we don't succeed, that means Nigeria itself will not be secured. And we need Nigeria to be secured so that we can have economic prosperity.
All right, then. What do we know about this group, Bukowarri? What does it mean? Who are they? How did they originate? This is the little that we do know about them. We do know that based on information and some intelligence, that they were once referred to as harmless herders. They were seen as herders, herdsmen who got into communities around Sokoto, Kebbi State. And 6 years ago, locals noticed the activities in Tangaza, Gudu areas of Sokoto State. Said to be a group of herders operating in the Marake and Zanu forest. Now, how did they now get to have infiltrated the area? This is a little that we do know. We do know that the military said locals welcomed the group into their midst willingly, and also that the group began to spread ideology after they settled into those communities. And now group have now mastered the terrain. They now know the terrain as much as the locals. Now, they've now imposed levies on locals and community people there. What is their modus operandi? This is what we know now. Attack on communities and travelers around that area. They kill, kidnap victims. They also demand ransom. The military, this is what the military is telling us now, based on the public information in the public domain. Now, the group from Republic of Niger in the wake of the recent coup, and that the group is linked to terrorist group in Niger Republic and Mali, and the group has infiltrated Sokoto and Kebbi. So we do know that a few days ago, scores of persons were killed in Kebbi State. Let's get some more insight into this. One man that has been researching and speaking to the people on the ground, finding out what exactly is going on, the nature, ideology, modus operandi, the orientation, the mission and the vision of this Bukowarri group. What do they mean? Why are they setting out? Why did we allow them to go this far? He's a researcher and on issues of extreme terrorism. Mr. Bulama Bukati, who is also a lawyer. He joins us from London virtually. Thank you so much, Mr. Bukati, for joining us tonight on the program. Give us an understanding. When I was speaking with you earlier on the program, you said these guys are not new. The appellation of a new terror group, according to you, is not true.
Yeah, it's not true, Sheun, because the group that are called Lakurawa today have been sporadically living or camping in the northwestern part of Nigeria for over 6 years now. They first started illegally entering Nigeria around 2016, 2017, but they did not stay permanently. What they do, and that's what they do till today, is that they move in, stay for a few months, and then they go back to the Sahel or wherever they are coming from in Niger. And from the information I am gathering, what could be happening, and this is my hypothesis so far, is that this is a group that is being fought by the Nigerian and the Malian military. And whenever there is a sustained pressure by the military in Niger and Mali, they move out of Niger and Mali, come in northwestern Nigeria in order to regroup and to recuperate and then go back and continue to fight in the Sahel. And they have been doing that at least since 2017. The Nigerian army was aware because in 2018, the communities reported this group that they are concerned for their security because there is a new group that is armed and the people don't look like Nigerians. And the police investigated and held a press conference in 2018, reported by several Nigerian newspapers. But if you look at, you search Lakurawa today, you will see a Daily Trust report in 2018 when the police said they have investigated and that these people are armed, but they are not violent, and therefore people should continue to live in peace with them.
Are you getting the message? These people have been in the country for more than 6 years now. And when people raise alarm, Nigeria military, no. Nigeria police went out to investigate and they saw them armed, equipped with sophisticated arms. And they came back to tell the people, don't worry, they have arms, but they don't use it on human beings. They use it on spirits, rather. They use it on spirits because everything about Nigeria now is spiritual. So they use it on spirits or they use it on corruption. I think that should be the best word. They use their arms on corruption. They use it against corruption. They use it against indiscipline. They use it against Yahoo. They use it against anything, but they are not harmful people. Are you getting them? This is Nigeria giving you the information. I want us to know, anytime you hear anybody coming out to tell you that Nigeria is fighting insecurity, ask that person, how can you be fighting the people you know? How can you be searching for the people you know, the people you see, the people you know, where they live, how they stay, where they camp, where they group, where they train, and you are looking for them?
Mazugo.
Okay, you are seated. Yeah, and they hear you.
Yes, yes. You see, let me tell you. There is nothing that is happening in Nigeria that the Nigerian intelligence operative do not know. Is because they decide, those that are occupying, that are heading these organizations are accomplices of this mayhem that is going on. When they tell you of Lukarawa is like this guy said, they've been there a long time ago. Who was the police IGP 6 years ago? Was he not, who, is it Idris? Is it Idris, the transmission?
I think
Or the other one?
No, the transmitting came in. He didn't stay long. It was the one that stayed before him.
Okay. So I think we have to find out who was the IGP
Does
as at
it
that time,
matter?
6 years ago. Come
I
again?
mean, the person that was IG, the person that was COS, the person that was chief of army staff, the person was CDS. Does it matter?
No, it matters. It matters to me because I'm telling you simply because I was in there.
Okay.
If the man said no, you won't do anything. If the man on top is someone that has interest in what they are doing, he will
No,
never.
Max. It doesn't matter. I mean, is Musa is there today. If a new group is formed and the Musa will go to office to get a paper, are we going to fight these people or not? They say no, don't fight them. Even if they are killing you people, don't fight them. Only send your people there to get killed. But select those that are not our people. Just select those who cook, send them there, they will get killed. That is why they are fleeing there.
Exactly. You see, we are saying the same thing. See, the reason why I am telling you this is because if I have interest in what those people are doing, what is the motive of these people? Is it not to take over Nigeria and run riot across the south and establish the Islamization of that country? If I'm a Muslim, let's say I'm a Muslim and I'm Igbo, do you think I will not support them? I will support them. Yes, they are propagating my own religion. Therefore, I will support them. So this is what I'm telling you. The man that is there, just like Buhari went to Egypt and called his brothers and sisters to relocate to Nigeria. There are a big space for them. Ask them today, they will tell you that Nigeria is the promised land of their forefathers, and they will all go there to go and stay and live there. That is the reason why they are penetrating into our land, even Biafra. If not that they were chased away by Mazen Namda Khan, that time he established that formidable force, ESN, that chased them out, that they went to Channels TV. Mayeti Allah Press chairman or whatever went to Channels TV and was crying that because of Mazen Namda Khan and ESN, they can no longer do their business. What business were you doing in the forest if not occupying the land that does not belong to you, taking it, and the owners will come in there to do their business, access their farmland? You kill them, rape them, and destroy them. So these are the things that these people are doing. These people were there. There is in the north, there is what they call Namu Namu. Our own is our own. They protect their own, whether they are bad or good. They first of all protect their own. But our own people, they will first of all chase you away. When the enemy is chasing you, you run to your house because they want to be liked. They want to be loved. They want to be politically correct. They want to look as if, oh, these people are good people. They don't tolerate nonsense. That is what they will lock their doors behind their children, and the enemies will take them and do pepper soup. That is who we are. That is the kind of evil spirit that is in our people. They will first look at them, Igbo speaking Biafrans, the coastal areas on space. Look at what they are doing to those that are volunteered to fight for their own freedom, something that they cannot do. But when you are doing it, they are standing there criticizing you on daily basis, doing the bid of Nigeria, doing the bid of the people that wants Nigeria to be intact. So they will come against you. All these people, the investigation this guy was talking about was carried out, and they told them, no, leave them. They are peaceful. How can a man be peaceful? A man that is wielding automatic assault rifle will be peaceful. That was the same way Boko Haram came. They said they brought them because of election 2015. That was the reason why they brought them. Is it 2015 or so? The one that ousted a better Goodluck Jonathan. So they brought them, they kept them, they fed them. And when they now succeeded, what they wanted to use them to do did not work. They wanted to ask them to go home. Then they shot the Hitler in Kaduna.
That story of they wanted them to go back, I never believed it too.
No, let me tell you one thing. There is a disagreement between them. There is a disagreement. But if you give me if you sign agreement by agreement, we will pay you this amount. They were like mercenaries that they brought, religious mercenaries that they brought. So when they brought, the thing they expected that they wanted to use them for did not happen. What are you supposed to do? You think that now you have power, you can deal with them. Then they contacted their own people, they started fighting. Was it not the same means that the Kaduna state governor, Rufai, is it Rufai or whatever they call it? Rufai. Didn't he trace them and their families outside Nigeria and pay them to stop coming in to appease them? Did they stop? They discovered that it is a lucrative job. And all of them are working in hand. Call it ISIS, call it ISWAP, call it Boko Haram, call it armed Fulani herdsmen, call it Lakurawa or the rest of them. They have one agenda, and that one agenda is to Islamize Nigeria. Do not be cowed or coerced into believing that, they are fighting for. No, they have all the terrorist group in the north. They have only one agenda, and that one agenda is Islamization of Nigeria and take over everything that belongs to you. That is what they are fighting. Now, let me tell you one thing. Let me ask you this question. I don't know whether you can give me the answer. Why is it that the Biafra land provides crude oil and gas that is making Nigeria what it is today, but the only blessing the North will give to us is terrorism? Another one will come out. Another one is also warming up now. They will come out in Duke. You will see what is going to happen again. Look, let me tell you, what Mazen Nnamdi Kanu told them is about to happen. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu said, while you are busy putting your soldiers in Biafra land, you are leaving your back door open. The terrorists will occupy it. They will occupy it, and they will take it over from you. But you will not be safe in Biafra land because we are going to buy you as well. You will not have a place to go to. That is exactly what is happening now. Look at them. But look, by the end of next year, you will see another group will come, because there is still information that are coming out that we are still monitoring as well. And remember also that my border, where we live, we have the same common border with Burkina Faso. You know that Burkina Faso has been fighting them since the time they chased away France out of Burkina Faso. France is also involved in fighting the military distance there. The terrorists, they say they were fighting while they were there. They never fought any terrorists. They were using them to get resources that is on the ground. You admit it. They are using them to get resources that is on the ground. You understand? So when Traore came in and chased them away, so they couldn't stand it, they would try everything possible in order to destroy Traore. But as long as Traore, God is with him, he is fighting on the mandate of the people, there is nothing France will do. France is losing so much now. They are experiencing budget deficit. They are worried. They are now trying to do other things that they want to do in order to go. So, see, these are the things that are happening. So these terrorists will run away. They will come to, in fact, there is a report that they are coming to Ghana, my own country. You don't know them. We don't know them. They will come in and buy foodstuffs. They are using Ghana now as what they call, that is the report. But our security agencies has not certified those reports. As I'm just going to put it as alleged. So according to that foreign report, that they are coming into the Ghana side to buy their resources that they are using to feed their, their terrorists in the forest. And sometimes too, there was also a report that when Traore used the drones, the area drones, UAVs, unarmed area vehicles to chase them, they were running away through the Ghana border to Benin, Togo, then to what do they call it? This place, Niger State. That is their base. Niger State is their base. And remember that Niger State houses the Tucanos, majority of the Air Forces, the jets, the Air Force planes and everything is in Kenji. You remember? So that is why when people would tell you that what will happen in Afghanistan is about to replicate in Nigeria. So you have to believe it, let's say about 70 or 75%. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Max. Thank you. So let's continue to listen to them.
In 2018, they killed a traditional ruler in the Tangaza local government, I believe, or was it Gudu local government, in Gudu local government area of Sokoto State. And they were again reported to the military, and the military fought them in 2018 and pushed them back into Niger Republic. But then after a few months, they came back to continue their campaign, and that has been what continued until today. So it's not a new group. I think the Nigerian army, I don't think they deliberately misled the public, but I would think that they do have short institutional memory. And I think that is that speaks volumes about how they document their activities. In fact, even though the Nigerian army says it is a new group, even in August this year, 4 soldiers lost their life in a patrol in a clash with Lakurawa. And now we saw this attack on Friday, and the Nigerian army says it's a new terror group. It's not new. In June, 4 military soldiers lost their life in Gudu local government. In 2018, they fought the same group and pushed them back to Niger. And this group has been staying, camping in northwestern Nigeria since 2016, 2017.
Now, give us an understanding. That word, Lakurawa, right? Is it an Hausa word, a Fufude language? And what does it mean?
It is neither Hausa nor Fulfulde. From the information I'm gathering so far, Sheon, and I know you would understand that this is a continuing situation. And like you said, I have been interviewing many residents and local council officials and witnesses. From the information I have gathered so far, the word Lakurawa would have come from the French phrase les recrues. That's the recruits. The French version of the recruits, which is les recrues. This is where the word would have come from, because the community members I spoke to said that was the name they had. The Nigerian villages that are neighboring them were calling this group, and this group, of course, were interacting with villages in the Nigerian side of the border before they started entering Nigeria illegally. And in that community, they were called Lakurawa or le recrues. And then from that way, the word was Hausanized, if you like, and WA was added to the end, and they became Lakurawa. This is the origin that we are getting so far. And I think even from the origin and from the languages they speak, even though they have been sporadically staying in Nigeria for around 6 years now, they still don't speak Hausa, they don't speak Fulfulde. All the witnesses I spoke to said these individuals speak either Tuareg, French, or Arabic, and that even when they are preaching or when they go to local communities to purchase stuff, they rely on local interpreters who speak Fulfulde or Hausa in order to transact with the communities or to speak with to communicate with the communities. And I think also the fact that most of the witnesses I spoke to said 80% of the people in that group are people who are fair-skinned. They look like Arab or like Tuareg in Niger and Mali. Speaks volume of the fact that these individuals may not be Nigerians.
So for the sake of...
Now, I want you to get something. Max, I don't know if you are still there, but my people, listen. Anybody listening, I want you to...
I'm here. I'm with you.
Okay. I want you to understand something. These people came into Nigeria with arms. They are not even dark skin like other Nigerians. They are fair like foreign Arabs, like maybe Moroccans, Egyptians, and Tunisians, and so on and so forth. Now, Nigeria saw them in Nigeria. Nigeria government saw them. And what the Nigerian government came out to tell you, they are not harmful people. They will not harm you. But the foolish people in the Senate, like Abaribe and his brothers, did not ask this Nigeria, how can a foreign people, foreigners, come into your country with arms, freely moving around? They are not employed into any of your security forces. They don't have even identity, residence. They don't have permit, and they have arms. And you say they are not harmful people. They are peaceful people. And they are living. Nobody fight them. At a time Nigeria military claimed to fight them, they only chased them into Niger. And then they leave them, they came back. And according to this analyst, he's telling us that Nigeria army knew them, know where they are, just like we all know that Nigeria, this same Nigeria today, know these people you call them terrorists or whatever, yet they cannot fight them. Listen.
Like I said, we know where these guys are. We know where they live. We know their parents.
You know them as a government?
Of course we do. They live with the same community we live.
So why is it difficult to get them?
That is the $1 million question that I should ask you.
We are trying to understand, for those of us who are now conversant with Zamfara, have never been there, and we hear you as a chief security officer speak tonight to say you know these people, but yet you can't get them. It's a head scratcher. The story that was out there with the change of the commandant was that he raised some concerns and accusations that the outfit is not being equipped and is now conversant with Zamfara.
Anyway, what I wanted us to hear here is that they know them. Even the ones that are not foreigners, they still know them. They know their houses. They know where they live.
Mazugo, sorry for my interjection. Do you see how different these people are with the people in the south, entire southern Nigeria? Have you seen the difference, the great difference between this man that is speaking? And he is from, I think, Katsina, Zamfara State. He's one of the, he's a young governor in that particular place, in that state. Have you seen how, despite that they know them, but they cannot go, they know where they are, they know who they are, but they cannot. Now, what do you want? They will blame it on the security agency, because it is the security agency that's supposed to fish them out. But they are also playing the double game. This man that you see here is playing a double game because these people are fighting for what they believe in. All of them generally are saying.
Remember, he said something here. Listen again, listen.
Like I said, we know where these guys are. We know where they live. We know their parents.
You know them as a government?
Of course we do.
Do you know them as government? This question clears a lot. This question clarifies a million questions people have been asking. Do you know them as a government here? Means, do you know them as a governor, or do you know them as Lawal, or do you know them as chief security of this state? Do you know them? And he said, yes, we know them as government. We know them. Of course, we know them as government. And somebody will go to the Senate and tell you they are deciding or deliberating, or a motion has been passed. Let us deliberate and they vote how to fight or how not to fight terrorism. I'm saying this so that everybody will listen and hear. When you hear some people telling you that Nigeria is the best country of their life, you have to fight to defend it with all your might and your spirit and your power and your ancestral powers. So you will know what you are fighting for. You will know what you believe. Not just fighting because people are fighting. You join the boat.
Our viewers, a lot of people who may not have traveled to that part of the country. Nigerian border is over 1,000 kilometers. If you travel about 100 kilometers per hour, it will take you about 10 hours to travel the length and breadth of the Nigerian border. So to give context to how wide and how big that border is, would you describe that border as porous and unmanned, or how insecure is the Nigerian border?
Look, to be specific, the Nigeria-Niger border is about 1,487 kilometers. That's over 900 miles. And to say porous is an understatement. It is open. It is completely open. You can go in and out any time of the day from hundreds of different locations. And of course, in addition to that, the terrain itself is challenging, because some part of that border is forested, some part of it is desert, some part of it is mountainous. And of course, because of the criminal activities going on in northwestern Nigeria, it is very difficult for the immigration and custom officers who are not very well armed and trained to secure the border. And of course, it is too big for even us to start even questioning questions about securing. 1,400 kilometers, I believe, is more than the distance from Lagos to Maiduguri, if my memory serves me well.
Absolutely.
And so it is a very big area of land. And in addition to lack of security, Sheun, is also the fact that there is zero infrastructure in that area. And so even where you detect particular movement that is suspicious, there is no transportation network to take you into the bushes and towards the border with the immigration vehicle or even the Nigerian army vehicle. There is also no communication network, good communication network. In many of these villages, there is no connection that is working. No phone service or signal, whether Glo or Airtel or MTN, and therefore they have to travel kilometers. Some of them will have to climb mountains before they can communicate. And in that situation, even when communities observe suspicious movement, they cannot report to anyone. And even the government officials operating there, like the customs and immigration, find it difficult to communicate, in addition to corruption and lack of equipment on their part.
So to give...
Sorry. Now, I want you to understand that why there is no communication, no infrastructure, is for you to believe or for you to think that the reason why you don't have communication is because those areas have not been developed. And I want you to know that those areas were purposely not developed for this particular mission. so that nobody will say, but we call police, but we call the army. Nobody will say, but that factory there, that there, therefore there will be light somewhere to guard, there will be movement. They don't want any movement. The only movement they want that area is the movement of these insurgents that are coming in. We are not talking about them coming in. Somebody came into your house. Are you going to be bothered asking, how did he come in? Get him out of your house first. Somebody came into your house where you have your children, your wife, your family, your siblings, your mothers, your father, your parents. Somebody came into your large compound and you abandoned the person in your compound. You went out and carried microphone. I don't know how this man get into my compound. And you watch the man in your compound with arm, disseminating your father, your mother, crying your sister, your wife, your children, commoting their head from their isi, whipping her from her hoha, and you are there with the microphone. But we don't even know how these people came into our compound. We can't even tell if they jumped the dwarf fence or is it the taller fence they jumped, or did they come in through the gate? Did the gate man open door for them? This is what Nigeria is doing today. You know these people where they are. If truly you are interested in stopping them from coming in, why don't you at least chase them out? But you can't chase them. I want you to know that all these are the wings or branches of this Islamization. By the time they will fully activate or bring everything into food, by the time they will be able to bring every branches, all the branches of what they have been cooking. By the time they will be able to dish you or dish out this food, these fruits they have sown, that are grown, that are bear fruit, this food they have been cooking, they will dish it out. You know, go fi eat up. Even you, shell that is in that, you can't eat this food. Look at what is happening in Yoruba land today. Is Yoruba man not the COAS, Chief of Army Staff? Is it not Yoruba? In Ogun State today, what happened? 2 people come out head. Who come out them? The same people that have been commoting heads. Every day, and no day passes by, you don't see in Yoruba either Ogu or your Ibadan, this one, the same news. Only in Biafra land today, you don't hear them doing it. You remember before, in last 2 years, they were busy carrying people, disappearing people. Do you still hear that news? That somebody is traveling from Onitsha to Newi, he was kidnapped by Fulani. They come out from a bush. The only place you hear this now is somewhere where they are close to north. That is the country. People will come out boldly to tell you, you are building Nigeria to become a nation, right? A country you don't even know the system you are running. You don't even know the system you are running. And you will go to the place you call your Senate, lower chamber, middle chamber, higher chamber. You sit down to deliberate that the system you must run is a system that will make the people to be scared of politicians. Not scared, not that the politicians should be scared of the people. So there will be no accountability. So that the people will keep getting oppressed day by day, where you will dehumanize these people. A system there will be no rule of law.
Give context. Imagine that you are traveling from Lagos, you've passed Benin or you've passed Benin City, you've gone as far as coming towards Abuja, Kaduna, and there is no proper any check. It's just an open grounds, open field. This is how large and massive this terrain is, and perhaps there are a lot of people who know the terrain who say people just come from Niger into Nigeria without unchecked because this border is so wide, and that's why I have to bring that context into place. If you travel 100 kilometers per hour, it will take over 10 hours to travel between the length and breadth of the Niger-Nigerian border. But let me ask you, Mr. Bukati, the much you know about the Boko Haram cell, compared to these Lakurawa, how harmful or how dangerous are they?
This group is potentially very dangerous, Sheun. Of course, the Boko Haram group is a group that became a transnational terror group, and it didn't do that until after it had operated for many years and had gathered experience and arms and money through kidnappings and other methods. This one is not up to the level of Boko Haram in terms of sophistication and lethality and their experience and their connection and even the number of fighters. But they are potentially very, very dangerous because, number one, they are already establishing strongholds in the northwest, especially in Tangaza and Gudu local governments of Sokoto State, but also some parts of Kebbi State. And right now, the information we are getting is that they are operating in 5 local governments. And I can tell you some of my interviewees are very informed, Sheun, and they tell me, one of them told me that there is a local government in Sokoto, Gudu local government. He says you cannot travel 5 kilometers outside the state, the local government capital without meeting Lakurawa, encountering Lakurawa on the way. And he says all the villages surrounding the local government headquarters are under the control of the group because as we speak, they are serving as judges for local people. If you have a local problem, you have a dispute with your neighbor, you report to them because they have forbidden traditional rulers from intervening in any dispute that is brought to them. And traditional rulers have no option but to obey them because they would kill them if they don't obey their instructions. And especially in farmer herder crisis, today if farmers have their farm encroached by herders, they report to the Lakurawa, and the Lakurawa summon the parties, adjudicate the dispute and order compensation against those that they find wanting. Members of the community whose cattle is stolen by bandits report to the Lakurawa, and the Lakurawa intervene on their behalf to fight the bandits, to collect their cattle back for them. And in exchange, today the Lakurawa are levying taxes in communities in Sokoto and Kebbi State, especially against herding communities. They stop you, they count your cattle, and they ask you if it belongs to a politician or a government official, they confiscate the whole of it. If it belongs to an individual, they charge taxes in percentages and then leave you to go. Now, they also, enforce other rules. For example, there are POS machine operators in some of the villages that recently were punished by this group because the group said they were charging interest, which is forbidden in Islamic law. And therefore, they broke into the POS shops. They looted everything in the shop and destroyed all the machines. Right. They are also punishing people who don't leave beard, and they are helping people who live beard with money and other incentives.
I'm being also joined by Professor Tukop Mohammed Baba, National Public Secretary of the Arawa Consultative Forum. But before I come to you, Prof, Mr. Bulama, what is Lakurawa? What are they preaching? Is it different from the ideology of Boko Haram?
It's not different. It's not different from the ideology of Boko Haram, except that they are more like ISWAP, because they tell local people, unlike Boko Haram, that we are not your enemies. We don't want to kill you. We are only fighting the government and its apparatus. And so that's what they espouse, an extreme, violent extremist ideology and they try to preach to local communities. But the good news shown is that my research so far, and I say so far because I am still researching, reveals that they have not been accepted by the communities. I have not found one example of a local young people who has joined them. They are still mostly foreigners. I am not saying there may be no local people at all, but they are still mostly foreigners. But they are large in number from the information I am getting. They are establishing large camps and show not only that they have heavy weapons, they also have drones. And they are surveilling villages and even military formations with their drones. And I think we should take them very seriously. They are potentially going to be a very serious security threat in a region that is already devastated by bandits' violence.
All right, give me a moment.